Hey, Scoville here with another spicy spotlight. I promise I don't only cover 3 mana red instants, but this time we have Shaman's Trance. For 2 generic and 1 red mana, you get an instant with, until end of turn, other players can't play cards from their graveyards, and you may play cards from other players' graveyards as though they were in your graveyard. This doesn't allow you to just steal cards from your opponent's graveyards. They have to have some other condition that allows you to play cards from graveyards to begin with, like flashback, but it does prevent your opponents from using those effects, and it does allow you to utilize them. But the spicy part is when we combine this with a will effect, like Gaia's Will, which allows you to play lands and cast spells from your graveyard, but with Shaman's Trance, this extends into your opponent's graveyards as well. The OG effect for this was Yawgmoth's Will, but that card is really expensive unless you're proxying. So you can use Gaia's Will, which is like 50 cents, or Magus of the Will, which is about 25 cents, to be able to get this effect. Now, things get even better if you're playing in a group where your opponent has cast a ritual spell. So they're sitting with something that lets them go mana positive in their graveyard, like Dark Ritual, Pyretic Ritual, or one of the more popular ones right now, Jeska's Will. So if you control your commander and you've played Gaia's Will, you're able to use Shaman's Trance to cast Jeska's Will repeatedly out of their graveyard. You can cycle through your entire deck. And the way that this works is normally with the Gaia's Will and Yawgmoth's Will, when you cast something like an instant or sorcery out of your graveyard, it would get exiled because you cast it, it hits the graveyard, becomes exiled. However, when you cast spells from your opponent's graveyards, those spells don't go into your graveyard. They have to return to your opponent's graveyard. So when you go to cast them, you can repeatedly use them. Now that's Magical Christmas Land, perfect scenario where you storm off like crazy, stealing from your opponent's graveyards. However, you could also use Shaman's Trance to hate on cards like Underworld Breach if you've got an opponent who is repeatedly casting things from their graveyard. Especially, I've seen this in CEDH. Underworld Breach has gotten pretty popular, but it's also just a good card that sometimes people use for recursion in decks that have red in them. Let me know in the comments if you have any other suggestions about maybe where this combo would be a good fit in a deck, or if you have any other janky cards that you would like me to cover.